Hi, I'm VITEK WINCZA. The English is my second language. I really appreciate my accent and not perfection when it comes to the language, but I think most important is the things what really happened and the things what you do, sometimes more than what you say. Our future is much more gonna be in a very good hands, and the people who are happy, creative, and ready to compete globally with their intellects and creativity, and I said imagination is more important than knowledge. So keep kids away from the streets, inspire the kids, make them feel important, and everything is driven. Everything what we do is driven by children. They give us the idea, and because they are the whole sense and beauty and fountain of the great ideas, unspoiled, uncorrupt. They're the ones who can inspire us, and we can now move it ahead thanks to them, because our imagination is limited. We corrupt with so many no's, so many yes, so many financial. The kids are coming up with the pure, the nature almost given. Is something we take for granted. So what the kids will know, they do know a lot, and they have great inspiration and great imagination. So I want to use the opportunity to thank the kids for all inspiration they give it to me, because it's more them. And all our programming is designed first them. And we use the Reggio Emilia, the little bit approach, the little bit approach of the other styles. But everything is driven. It's all about children. It's all about children who would like to and give them opportunity to dream. And if they dream, they become much more ambitious, and ambitious create better communities. Ambitious people create better communities, better neighborhoods, and achievable things are happening. And our future is much more gonna be in a very good hands, and the people who are happy, creative, and ready to compete globally with their intellects and creativity, and like Einstein said, imagination is more important than knowledge. So our job is to exercise that imagination and make them feel like swimming, like a fish in the water, and added the knowledge and education into it, and I think we will be safe as a country and globally, because there's no more anymore with the way we teach them. It's not anymore, this is Canada, this. You can do the business from Canada as fast as you can do in Poland and Burlington, just 10 miles away. There's no barriers right now. The distance means nothing. And I want to teach them that global thinking, and we have a program now which through the parks we're gonna share those ideas with all kids through the internet using the technology, so that all kids will say, so what else we can do in the parks? What kind of things we can do? And there will be children-driven, their imagination, and we as adults, we're gonna make sure to help them to make sure that those things happen and the way they wanna have. And I'm involving very best professional artists, very best educators, and this is investment. This is not like when I came here in 1982. It came to me through the very reliable sources that arts are more for the playground for the rich, and I had a problem to, and still have a problem to believe in that. I think arts are necessary, and also arts are right, not privilege. So to participate in the arts is not a privilege, but it's a right for every single human being in this earth. And I'm just like a little piece and little brick in this whole beautiful house and beautiful conservatory, which try to make sure that they have the access to that, and especially kids who are disadvantaged kids, and the kids who were inner city kids and everything. Keep them away from the streets. Make sure that they got the interest and passion developed, because there's for sure every single of them have some talent into the arts. If this is music, if this is dance, this is poetry, this is photography, there's for sure something which they're really passionate about it. We have to just allow them to access that and be affordable and accessible for them on everyday basis, not on a special occasions like field trips in the schools and, oh, let's talk a little bit today about arts. In everyday basis. Imagine day without music and what will happen. That's what it is. It's surrounding us every day, and it should be part of everybody's life, everyday life. And I think we have very happy and creative communities and neighborhoods in this country and beyond. Hi, I'm VITEK WINCZA, W-I-N-C-Z-A. I'm just so what you want me to do? Just introduce myself, right? No, just okay. Just a name. Okay, VITEK WINCZA. Okay. Ready? I can do it again. Hi, I'm VITEK WINCZA. Well, in 1982, I did a tour of North America with the National Dance Company of Poland. And we did mostly United States, over 103 or 4 performances in the United States and 5 performances in a Hamilton place here in Hamilton. That's the only place in Canada we were. And after performances, I decided to stay. The life in Poland wasn't established as much, especially politically. There was martial law, and so I had to defect. And that was a big decision for me, not having any securities, $2.50 in the pocket, and just the knowledge and experience. That's basically no family, no English, nothing. And I throw myself into unknown, which is nothing new for me. Like I always do that, and somehow, doesn't matter how secure I am, I always search for those things, something unknown, searching for new ways of doing, and the discovery is a great passion of me. And using the arts, because that's my background, particularly dance, but now I explore to more other different venues in the arts. So it's a journey from day one, and it still continues. Yes.
Talk about when I stayed in Hamilton. Be specific about where you are. Okay.
When I stay here in Hamilton after my defection, I wasn't sure which way I should go, but I did need to practice. So I practiced, and people who let me use the studio said, "Can you teach 2 classes?" I said, "I never taught. I'm not a teacher. I'm a dancer." And that's my journey relationship with the kids began, and I found fascinating to working with the kids and children and giving them introduction to the arts, professional arts, culture, and all other, and just progress into creating special performances for them, and Snow White, Pinocchio with the Robert de Rosier and other pieces. But one was particular is the Nutcracker, which I kind of documented the history of Hamilton, Dunder Castle, and Stony Creek battle, the 1812 battle, and become a Hamilton tradition. In Hamilton place to restore the Gore Park, and so everything was happening here in Hamilton, but Tchaikovsky's music and E.T. Hoffman story. So then we start developing more into the educational projects and everything. So we taught the kids history through the arts, and so they can be proud of the things what's happening. The dreams can happen in Hamilton, fly up there and come back into the Dunder Castle. So that was probably one of the biggest accomplishments. The community really responded to it. It was personally designed. I involved Kiev dancers from Ukraine, and 30 dancers brought it here and choreographed the whole piece on them, and they were part of the celebrations of Canadian culture and history. Then we kind of developed the programming for the school children, and we believe that introduction to the arts is a specialty. It can be done successfully, and learning through the arts is very important on the development of every child. Doesn't matter where they are, which country and which continent, and sometimes it's put it on the side, not taken seriously. So I created a Culture for the Kids in Arts charity, which was dedicated to introduce the arts into the children in a base on their physical, spiritual, intellectual, mental, and based on those principles, we created programming that the children feel like they're not being under challenged, not over challenged, but they were right in their character and in their. So it developed into something which you can call that passion, you can call that mission for the future for me, and something to leave for the generations to come, some, legacy. And I think this building, the conservatory building, is a legacy already. So we're just going to continue with that legacy, developing something which the new generations can be inspired, and also they can pass some of those things which we began, and they can continue with it. So it's not something that I want to just close it and say this is it. I want to just inspire it and let them go into develop. So there's always room for them to develop. Doesn't matter it's 100 years from now or 200 years from now. That's my mission right now, and we just been able to put programming for 50,000 children, school children, for totally free of charge. There's no money involved. We raised the money, lots of volunteers in Hamilton, lots of wonderful people, board directors and everybody just understood the vision and the mission, and they said, well, let's do it. So we involved like a YMCA, Today's Family, all the different, particularly children, the most deserving children in this city who never have opportunity to experience the arts in early stages, and it's not their fault where they were born and address and everything. So we taking care of that because I was one of those children. I was the one who was probably the poorest one in Poland, and understood how people take care of me, and because of the people I am where I am today. So it's kind of paying back, but also it's a personal passion and a vision. I would like to pursue it. So we're studying, we're getting the best educators possible anywhere around the world, creating curriculums. My big passion is about the parks. We would like to show the people that the parks are not just the tree and two benches, that there's lots of things happening in those parks and can happen, particularly now when the era of the digital gimmicks and all other telephones and everything, people are being a little bit separated from each other. Those gadgets kind of become extremely leader and important in our lives, almost like we become secondary, and these equipments become in the forefront of our everyday life. And I feel like this is like a very dangerous area to go, and I would like to have them, walking on the ground and reaching to the stars, not other way around. I would like them to experience the real life. So I feel the parks are underutilized, underused, and misunderstood the purpose of them, and I think we can create lots of life there, and so everybody will feel welcome, everybody will feel a sense of belonging and sense of the community as well. And we're creating lots of programming right now with the children who are going to those parks and telling us what they would like to see there. They would like to have playground. They would like to have something to a little stage. Maybe soupies are on a regular basis. Some take care of the animals, take care of the birds and everything. So the community, the neighborhood comes together, and in a real way, when they talking to each other, when they experiencing the new life and new possibilities happening, but more in a human way than locking ourselves in a little, the little house or house complex and sitting in a small room and typing and sending those messages to our world. I think this is very important because we're progressing and we should be progressive, but we shouldn't forget about who we are and where our roots come from and our beginnings and our learning comes from. The nature is important, the environment is important for those children and all others. So the balance, I'm talking about the balance, is very important for me.
What did they tell you your life, VITEK? What did they say?
Well, all life they were telling me, don't talk, you dance. You are a dancer, you shouldn't talk. You should express yourself through the movement, not through the talking. But over the years, I see I have to master now the other side, the talking side, because people who like to hear the things are in my mind, in my head. And this is like a new experience for me. So I'm working on it, but I'm not the best. So you may find me a little bit stumbling there, and you know, the English is my second language. I really appreciate my accent and not perfection when it comes to the language, but sometimes it's a little bit difficult to come across it the way you would like to come. But I'm learning, so I'm giving myself a little bit time and patience to master that. But I think most important is the things what really happened and the things what you do, and sometimes more than what you say. And so, but I do understand the communication skill has to be there, and because there's so many things to pass. And one of the things is important as well for me, like if you want to capture some kind of sense of where we are, where we were, where we are, where we want to be, is 90-10 kind of concept, which I'm on all my speeches I try make with a big stress, and I think, but I'm coming through. But I always mention about 90-10, and when 90 means I begin to work with the recreational centers in the city of Hamilton and surroundings. I work with the other agencies after school activities. I work with the education system for so many years, and as I mentioned, 50,000 kids got experiences from us. And I find a very interesting thing that any facility I will walk in, it will be a recreational center or something, it will be designed 90% for the sports and 10% for the arts and the cultural activities. And so if the facility is designed that way, that means the programming will be designed that way, because of course they're parallel. And then if the programming is designed, that's where the budget is designed the same way. So I love sports and I admire sports, and I think they're extremely important in developing every human being, and for our not just the health issue, but our competitive spirit, our achievement spirits is extremely important. First, I want to be a soccer player, not the dancer. So that was my dream, and still it's some kind of hidden dream to be soccer player. But the dance gives me this everything, this fascination, and I consider dancers as athletes as well. I don't consider any other, because it's extremely hard things what they do, physical and so they are athletes as anybody else. We achieve the same. We have some same goals with the athletes as we train the same, if not maybe harder. And I would like to create a balance. I think our kids and our future generation deserves the balance to be introduced. I don't want them to all become professional dancers or professional musicians, but at least they can learn through the arts. They can grow understanding and appreciation to the arts, and they can develop some inner sides, inner signals which coming from them personally, and the arts the only ones who can do this. And so I'm trying to encourage those city and those facility members to have at least one cultural educator. I don't call them artist educator, because that's maybe too scary, but cultural educators. And we design now the programming, thanks to the Trillion Foundation, we're designing the program which is Arts Works, which create the training for the people to work maybe on those sites and become the representatives, so we can work together parallelly and design the programming for them, and so the arts become alive and around us and surrounding us on an everyday basis, not only on the special occasions. So,
well done. Now, go ahead.
This is was the most beautiful facility for the arts you can ever find anywhere around the world, and it was one of the kind and designed for that purpose in 1902. Was open for the public, and its walls are designed for this soundproof. There's 17 studios, music studios, small studios. There's 10 larger studios. There's 3 dance rooms. There's theater, the facility for the performances, and so everything is here. Based on that, when I came here, when I defected, the conservatory the same year went bankrupt and went into receivership. And it took me 20 years to have my own school and everything to learn, and eventually this place went for sale, and I decided to, with the great people who believe in my vision, we bought this place, and eventually, you know, they helped me to you know, financially and other ways, and now, 15 years later, we're standing right here with the great vision, and at the very beginning, I didn't know what I'm gonna do, actually. I had a vision of all arts together. So you have here is music, is the dance, is the visual arts, is a drama, and now there's music. Like all days they keep them separate together, but now we separate them. There's also architecture, there's also science, and there's also literature. And you know, when you train the dancers or you train the musicians, and if they would like to be professional, take that as a profession, those all muses should be together. And that's what we have under this roof and this same place, the 7 muses working together, and dancers learn from musicians, musicians learn from the dancers. And you know, architecture is so important, the science is so important in the arts, in the creation of the arts and developing of the arts, and also everything what is there I'm applying to educational programming for the young children in the schools and after school activities and the recreation centers. So this is kind of like a lead for us when we can all work together. The dancers one room, one part of the town, the musicians another part, the visual artists another part, they're not working together. And that's a huge mistake because that's a very expensive way to run it. But it's easier when we're all under one roof and sharing the facilities, sharing the mailing list, sharing the budgets and all other stuff. And we can survive the worst scenario. And you know, conservatory is not helped by any government grounds or city or anything. It's totally independent, self-sustained, which is very rare that arts buildings and arts you know, affiliations can survive on their own. This one is, but actually supports the charity and supports other activities around the town and everything. So this is the place right now when everything began, and was totally put it down, and it was like a juvenile place when in the dance room and the auditorium they play basketball, and it was totally boarded up. So again, with the great people of Hamilton and friends, we rebuilt this on our own. All my vacations are here. I've learned all the relative painting and like a wall painting, not the painting, the visual painting, and all the building reconstructions, professions. I think I'm qualified now to do it because we didn't have money to do it, so we had to do it ourselves. And now I look back as a great achievement of mine, doing those things and bringing there, and this whole thing makes totally different. But this is the place where the dreams can happen, and this is the place when we can inspire. Most importantly was to create the environment for anybody who walks in here, that if they really want to progress or they want to learn something in a beautiful artistic environment, they can do so. So creating the environment for the artist is one of the most important things, because without the environment, artists cannot succeed. They need the support, they need to feel like they need it, they need to feel like they're succeeding, and that's what this place is about. And a chalet for all those people who have dreams and express them through the arts. So that's why this building is so important. And it was the one of beginnings, Hamilton, if your harmonies began here, all major arts organizations in Hamilton had something to do with this building. So it's a special, and we treat that specially, and for me, become the last stop. And because of that building, I'm inspired on an everyday basis. I used to actually live upstairs for so many years because I couldn't afford an apartment or anything. So without really government major support or anything, we've been able to put it back in this building. It was supposed to be for, again, it's for people and made by people. So I'm very proud of this achievement, and it's really excellent to walk in every day here and feel inspired and feeling like there is important things you still have to do in your future. And I think that's I'm considering myself a very lucky man.
Maybe you can point to it.
Yeah, this is 1, 2. Probably I was talking the same, and then I stop. I discuss a little bit more and come back to the architecture, to the visual art, to the science, and the literacy. This are all our students actually, and the person who teaches the arts, the classical arts, and Alex, the Russian painter, he's still teaching here.
Really?
This is the drum room. This is some of the music rooms. I don't know if you want to shoot some of those. So this is Dr. Harry's whole thing. So that's how the conservatory began, and this was used to be conservatory, but because they didn't have auditorium, they had to find a new place. So this was the old conservatory, 1897, and this is the original Unitarian church in 1891. And then they couldn't finish the building, and they give to the conservatory, and conservatory make it final. And this is the first proposal of conservatory by architects, the building, and this is the architect, the same architect who built the Strathcona School, the McP, and the Canad Hotel. This is Strathcona School, and here this is important part.
Okay.
That's when we just moved. This is the gallery. We were there just.
You can go right up to it if you want.
Yeah. Is the art gallery what we have it here? So this is the entry. Now is the all the restored. This is the building the way it look outside after conservatory fell down, and there was alternative for youth was using just before us. They did lots of renovations, but this is the way.
Stay right there. Keep pointing to that.
Okay, there's, you see, like this is the reception room. So it was not Olympic shape.
Anything here?
Here is just like some small things. I think this is kind of I don't know if it's already did something to this, but this is the way we needed piano for the concert, our concerts, concert piano, where we had no money. So a friend of mine, Eric VITEK, designed it. So we have 88 keys, as a piano has, grand piano has, and people were contributing and buying each key, and it shows the support. And we bought the piano. It didn't pay all, but it helped a lot to give the down payment and pay for the some beginning, and it's paid now. So we have now, thanks to the people, and this is gonna be permanent, and people will be always acknowledged for the very small donations, but you know, is something which without them we couldn't have it. And generosity and the support, and that's how we really survive. On the small things, the old people who come here, is over 1,000 students here who come here and come for the lessons and all other activities. They the major benefactors, they the major supporters of why this building exists, why we still continue doing, rather than major like companies or governments or city cultural divisions. We don't get that. For the culture, for the kids, yes, we get a huge support. It's based on the donations and the grants, but for the conservatory, it's totally self-sustained, and because of the people, the small donations count, and that's what makes us survive. And so people decide to keep that and support what we do. Actually, very important room, but used as every room in a conservatory for multi-purpose. So on every day, there's ballet classes here, the students train, especially senior students, but also that's when the nutcracker happen, the rehearsals, that's when the professional dancers rehearse, and also we have the stage there, right there, when all concerts, all performances happening, and under the stage there's 240 chairs. So we can pull that out in a matter of 10 minutes and 15 minutes, and we have 200 chairs, and we're ready to do the show. After the show, everything goes off in a half hour, and is back again in the rehearsal room and studio. So it has a perfect acoustics. The musicians who come in from Carnegie Hall or other big halls from the whole world kind of fascinated about the sounds, and also it's presented the way music should be presented, in a very cameral and a very small capacity, when everybody who sits here feels like they belong to that music, like somebody's playing for them, not like being part of the 1 or 2 or 3,000 people and here through the microphones. We never use microphones here. The people receiving the music the way it is, in the original sense, without electronics or anything, and in a small capacity, which is luxury. Lots of bank managers don't suggest that because, you know, it's not bringing enough income to pay artists and everybody else. But again, thanks to the supporters like Mr. Summers Gill, who supports our chamber series and piano series, they helping us to make sure that this thing happens. But it's a really luxurious way to experience the music and performances because it's just right in it.
Keep going. Keep going, go past.
This whole beauty of it. Let's put the closer back. And my better got a little bit crooked. He's an angry man, but I'm gonna impress him a little bit more. Hopefully he's gonna be happy one day. But then maybe music changes if he is happy. So that's you know, happy doesn't matter, you know. But they were just the ones who keeps us going and inspire us for ages. Look at how many years ago he done it, and people are still fascinated about his music, and he inspired generations, beautiful people, and one of them is me. So thank you.
There's a lot of noise on the floor. So you say that you're hoping to make him happy one day? Just a minute, hold on. Look at me and say that.
I hope one day I'm gonna make him happy when they're gonna see lots of wonderful kids playing his music, and into their happiness. So they're gonna be happy, and I think the happiness is gonna rotate it around. So the next time we're gonna have a better picture of him.